I spent a week with the recently released Digivice V, the new and improved Digimon Vital Bracelet, which also acts as the main Digivice for the brand new season Digimon Ghost game. I wanted to see if the new quality of life features made it a must-have, and if it's worth upgrading if you already have a Digimon VB. I also set my own personal goal to complete the Gamamon Dim card in 1 week, and how would I achieve that goal? Double fisting, baby!
It's come, Spooktober Spectacular 2!
Some nice friends you got there, YouTube.
Huh?
New Gamamon Dim card, very nice. Brand new Deep Blue versus Memory. Charging cable, of course. The main article, the Digivice V. Oh, I love the blue. Once again, too chunky for my wrist, but thankfully I have these extenders that Ray sent me. If your wrists are chunky, you can get extenders on Etsy or adapters on Etsy. All for my purposes I have to do is pop out this little black thing, pop this through here, and let's turn it on. Oh, baby. Been confirmed to me by a few people, but no, this does not have a bit of plastic like in the actual episode. And yes, I will be double fisting just like my boy Neo Cyber. So I'm gonna go slap a protective cover on this bad boy and begin my week with Gamamon. Okay, so I'm going out to do some errands and I am still double fisting. I am actually running Gamamon on both currently. That's the baby and Gurimon, I can't remember what the baby's called. Plan is to get both Beetle and Gulus Gamamon as my first kind of double fisting run. I refuse to say anything but double fisting. So hopefully by tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, I should have Beetlemon and Gulus Gamamon. Currently not quite sure how the sleep mode works. I'm hoping I can put him to sleep and then I'll unsleep him and he'll digivolve, but we'll find out. So, due to being busy and not used to just how much quicker the sleep function makes things, I did in fact get Kaust Gamamon rather than Beetle Gamamon because I was 2 trophies under, but that's fine. So, it's the morning of day 2 of double fisting, and already the Digivice V is better. And that's because this morning my Gamamon on my Digivice V, who had been in sleep mode charging all night, digivolved. But my VB Gamamon had to be turned off to charge overnight, so it's still Gamamon and will be for many hours. This is, I think, where you can start to see the advantages of double fisting, or at least swapping between them, because you could do exercise, battles, etc. on one VB, switch it over to the Digivice V and let them get in those sleep hours. My plan for today is to put both of these Digimon back into the app and swap them over so that we have the blue Gamamon Evo in the VB and he can just sit there, I can do some trophies, and then my first Gamamon can get some hours in and digivolve into hopefully Gulus Gamamon. I was initially going to try and get the red and evil variant champions, but I guess I fucked that one up. We're going for dinner for my mum's birthday tonight, and then in a month is my birthday, so I'm not exactly eating well right now. Plus it's heading into autumn and winter, and I never eat well during autumn and winter, but I'm gonna go do some tidying up as exercise, I guess, and then we're gonna... Unfortunately, Digivice V still is not waterproof, so we're gonna have to take both of them off when I jump in the shower, but I guess we'll report back after that. Something else I noticed as well is that you can sync up exercise. I don't know how consistent it is. I don't know if it's based on the day of the week or what, but the first day I had them, the types of hard mission I had synced up. So I did punches on both, crunches on both, etc. Let's see if I can get them to sync up today. Squats. They are both squats, so I think as long as it's the same date or something, I don't know how it works, or it's just consistent every day. Sure, it does change, but then we're just gonna go. Both cleared at the same time. I got a good on each. Didn't put my all into that one, got 1 trophy each, but you can sync up exercise, and that's another great thing about double fisting. is that you do end up working out kind of both arms. I did feel a lot, especially because I broke my elbow a couple of years ago. Got run off the road by a car while I was biking home. It's a fun story. So this elbow is always weaker, but I prefer wearing stuff in my left hand. But now that I've got one on each wrist and I can do the same exercises at roughly the same time, they're only very slightly out of sync. Things like punches and stuff, I'm getting to work out both my arms and the other one doesn't feel like an accessory. I found that either I was just not doing anything with my right arm, or I was kind of doing like half-assed exercise with my right hand, but now there is like reason to, for example, if I got like a punching bag or a punching ball, I could do proper, boxing punches. Same with squats and crunches, you move both your arms in tandem and you're getting points on each, so it's kind of good. I think only at the start of the second day, I can definitely see the appeal of owning both, but only really if you're still pursuing the Digimon VB as a kind of exercise companion with a virtual pet element. If you're only really interested in the virtual pet side, it's not necessarily the biggest upgrade, but I think the sleep function alone is great. 24 hours in, I already see the appeal of owning two and running two at the same time, both for kind of balanced exercise, but also for VPET training purposes. I can rack a bunch of trophies on one, transfer it to the V, or vice versa. I think your most optimal strat with original hardware, not modified stuff, is to run two, but maybe that's just me.
And on the third day, God created the Remington bolt-action rifle.
So, woke up to Gulus Gamamon today, watched Digimon Ghost Game, did my video, and now I'm chilling. I'm gonna go watch the Addams Family 2. I haven't seen the first one. Got to put this bad boy into silent mode for the cinema, obviously. We are working towards Kano Vicemon next. I have not been double fisting today, just because I found the major thing that's annoying with double fisting is that I feel a lot more weighed down and a lot more conscious of wearing the two Digivices, and I'm like bumping things more because I'm not used to using my right hand. Full of innuendo, this video. What I've kind of been doing is just doing the exercise and the battles on the VB and then turning it off and just kind of waiting the hours out on the Digivice V. But I think when I'm doing less things with my hands, tomorrow I'm just gonna like take a day off from videos. I'll probably put the VB back on, but yeah. So the whole double fisting thing has more turned to me just upgrading to the Digivice V, at least for today. Had a lot of things to do, so there wasn't much video footage, but I did swap around Kaus and Gulus Gamamon using the app. I put Kaus onto the VB and Gulus onto the V, meaning when I woke up, I got Kano Vicemon. Already I could feel just how much quicker this process is. The sleep mode is a complete game changer and actually presented a challenge because I was really having to work to get those trophies and battles in. But I will admit I did the cheat where you reset the clock to midnight just because it is nearly impossible to get Mega level and get the amount of trophies and battles you need in 24 hours without switching the Digivice V off to stop accruing evolution hours. And now sure, I could have turned the Digivice V off to not get those evolution hours, but I want to be able to make the most of a 24-hour period, and if they're gonna give me 24 hours to get to Mega, I should be able to get to Mega in those 24 hours.
Look to my coming at first light on the 5th day.
Woke up to a surprise as I miscounted my battles and forgot to check the Digimon screen before bed. So I got Aegistramon instead of Chaosdramon, but again the goal is to complete the Gamamon dim, so this is fine. And on the morning of day 6, I successfully got Chaosdramon and Beetle Gamamon. So what I will say is, although the sleep helps so much because you can just put it to sleep once you're done, forget about it. 24 hours between Evos does drag when you've got nothing to do. If you've maxed out your battles and your trophies and stuff, it's just so boring to just wait with it, wearing it for no reason for 24 hours or put it into sleep mode and charge it overnight. I will cover, I think, at the end after the week, how I think you could improve this experience more. And on the morning of day 7, I got Chimeramon, which was great news. But what wasn't great news was, well, the end of my week with the Digivice V, my last day, suboptimal, because I have some kind of stomach infection, we think maybe norovirus or something, I don't know. Yep. And I still have it. Friday was not fun, and more importantly, not active. I was in a really bad way. I was incredibly nauseated. I was going to the bathroom once every like 30 minutes. I will save you the more grisly details, but basically I was in bed, shivering, shaking my arms like a madman to try and get some trophies. But despite my illness, I woke up on day 8 to Ultimate Brachiomon and Tankdramon. I had done it. 1 week, roughly. But give me a break, I have norovirus. And I completed the Gamamon dim card by double fisting the Digivice V and the Digimon VB. Considering by the end of the week with my Digimon VB I had only got Shivamon, that's significant improvement. But the question is, was this worth getting? Yes. Absolutely, but with some caveats. First off, if you've never jumped onto the VB train, the Digivice V is absolutely the one you should buy. The sleep function alone makes the whole experience so much less torturous, as you get to set your own active hours, and more importantly, can put your Digivice V on to charge overnight in sleep mode, wake up to an evolution. It is a game changer. Because you still accrue Digivolution hours when you're asleep. The only times you don't get Digivolution hours are if you run out of battery or if you turn off your Digivice V. You do have to initiate the sleep mode yourself, but the entire week I never turn my Digivice V off. I just put it into sleep mode and charged it overnight. Cannot say the same for the VB. This motherfucker has to be turned off to charge overnight, which means you're losing, 6 to 12 hours of potential evolution hours. I've also heard anecdotal evidence that the screen on the Digivice V is better and that the internals and some other things are slightly improved. I haven't noticed anything particularly better, and I've also heard anecdotal evidence that the laser is better with a wider range of skin tones, but again, there's no study for this stuff. As a pasty white boy, it's fine for me. If you have darker skin, I don't know, is all I can say, but there are apparently some homebrew methods to get around it. Now, what if, like me, you already have the Digimon VB? Should you upgrade? Well, if you're me, yes, absolutely. I think the combo of them is really good. You can do things like sync up exercise for each arm rather than one arm getting swole like Trogdor the Burninator, but the differences between the two does start to add up. Like I mentioned, the fact that the Digimon VB does have sleep that you cannot turn off or on. I found transferring from VB to app to V a breeze, especially as DIM cards work with the V and VB, though do note your DIM cards do still get locked, I believe, feel free to correct me, will work with up to 3 Digivice Vs or 2 Vs and 1 VB. I don't have enough devices to test this on, but someone in the comments will let me know exactly how the DIM card situation works and I will pin it. Check the comments. Always check the pinned comment on my videos. But ultimately, if you like the idea of power leveling and double fisting, the best way to Munchkin absolutely would be to get 2 Digivice Vs rather than 1 V and 1 VB. That said, for the price of the V, I don't feel bad suggesting someone with a VB also get a V. It's not the same as telling someone with an iPad to buy the new iPad. The cost is a lot lower. You could always give the old VB to a friend if you don't feel like double fisting, or even try and sell it on the used market. Don't know if someone would want to buy a sweaty VB off you, but there you go. But as they're not especially expensive units, roughly $50, which is an investment, but it's not a mega investment in comparison to things like the Fitbit, it certainly wouldn't hurt to have the V, if nothing more than insurance, because they both still have waterproofing issues. If anything happens to your VB, it's always good to have the V on standby and vice versa. But again, I think I'm ultimately planning on continuing to double fist, but with 2 Digivice Vs. But I do want to end the video on some criticisms. The Digivice V is not a VB 2.0. It is a VB 1.1 or 1.2 at best, because a ton of issues from the VB still persist and it is still missing a ton of quality of life features that I think it desperately needs. There needs to be a better way of doing exercise on these things, because the maximum amount of trophies you could get on each is 12 per day. That is 8 from hard missions, 1 from normal missions, and 3 from special missions. I think theoretically, if you transferred from one to the other, you could double that to 24, but it's still a lot of work, and I found myself consistently doing the midnight clock reset trick. And the sleep function now makes trophies even more difficult, because you have to turn your Digivice V off if you want to get the right amount of trophies, or else the evolution time is going to run out and you're going to default to whatever the trophy and battle level you've accrued means as an evolution. And having to turn it off to do legitimate evolutions without any trickery completely flies in the face of the point of the sleep function. It's supposed to make things more streamlined, not more difficult. It also means that you feel like you may as well max out your trophies and battles in one session and then just kind of sit with the VB or the Digivice V on your wrist for the rest of the day, and at that point it just becomes an annoying lump of plastic that you have to take off anytime you get near any water. That's why I think battles and trophies need to fundamentally change for the next iteration of the VB model. My proposition is that hard missions are given hourly, so every hour you get access to one hard mission, but you don't have to exercise on the hour. This means in 24 hours you are guaranteed a minimum of 24 trophies and potentially 48. In addition to this, normal missions should reset every 6 hours, and special missions missions can remain daily in case you have a lazy day. 48 is high, but no one is active for 24 hours and missions would still reset daily. So you could accrue 12 missions average in your day, which would still mean between 12 and 24 trophies just as hard missions, plus an additional 3 for special missions and potentially 4 more for normal missions. This would not only mean that you would actually be able to get enough trophies in the evolution period for a Mega Digimon, but also that you wouldn't feel like you were just sat there with nothing to do once you'd got them, because you still have to wait out a bit of a clock. I'm not saying this is perfect, there is probably a slightly better way to tweak this, but I think generally eking out the missions over the course of a day rather than one daily reset is far superior. It's up to Bandai to adjust that balance. Battles also need an overhaul. The app has saved battling for me, with everything but raid and practice battles actually counting towards your Digimon's battle total for evolution, but it could be better. The initial VB trailer showed a Betamon appearing from an NFC point, and yet not only has no Betamon dim appeared, but there is no way to battle Betamon. I believe at some point it was intended for each dim to have like an enemy line on it for you to encounter at NFC points, and I absolutely think this is how it should work in future. It is insanely boring to fight your own evolution line over and over again with NFC battles and just RNGing in hopes that you don't randomly have to pit your Gamamon against a Chaos Dramon just to hit that battle count. Adding enemies to the dim cards, which are literally just SD cards might I add, which have one full line, so Betamon to Seadramon etc, which you can fight in addition to your own evolution line, would at least add a bit of variety, especially if you're in a country or location where the only way you can trigger an NFC battle is with your phone or maybe with your Nintendo Switch. You're just tapping your device 20 times or more based on RNG to try and get the battle amount, and it's just exhausting. Again, there's always the app, but you know, same thing, it still takes forever. And when the app goes down for maintenance, which it does fairly regularly, which is good, they're always adding new updates, that does mean that you are stuck with NFC battles while maintenance is happening. And my final complaint is the lack of waterproofing, which the VB and the V also suffer from. There is no improvement to waterproofing or water resistance in the Digivice V. I'm not expecting miracles from such a cheap device. It's literally $50. It's a toy, really. It's not a Fitbit. But they could at very least take some inspiration from GoPro and find a way to make water resistant cases. I'd love to take my Digimon for a swim because it's my favorite activity, but I get that's a lofty goal for a cheap device. That being said, a bulkier plastic shell I could buy and then put over the top of the VB so I could walk in the rain for 30 seconds, wash my hands, not panic every time I put a glass of water down, that would be fantastic. All that being said, yes, there are problems, but I still absolutely adore the VB line, and specifically the Digivice V, and would highly recommend you picking up one if you're a Digimon fan, a fitness fan, or just like raising virtual monsters. If you consider them as virtual pets with a reasonable amount of exercise integrated into them, and not a Fitbit with V-Pet elements, you're gonna have a great time. These are definitely closer to the Digivice toys than they are to a Fitbit or a smartwatch of any kind. And I think basically everyone from non-owners to VB owners would definitely benefit from going for the Digivice V. I only have criticisms because the base model is so good. I want it to succeed and go on to have a whole line of new VBs and Digivice Vs. Also, if you're just a fan of Digimon Ghost Game and want to own one of the best screen accurate Digivices, this is a great one to go for. But overall, yes, it could be improved upon, but for a cheap price, I highly recommend you picking it up. And that's my thoughts after my week with the Digivice V. I think you should pick it up, but let me know in the comments down below your thoughts. If you're a Digivice V owner, what are your thoughts so far? Are you enjoying it, hating it? Let me know why. If you're a Digimon VB owner, let me know your thoughts. Are you considering picking up a V now you've seen this video? Have you already ordered a V? Are you a double fister like me? And if you've yet to join the VB family, are you now considering getting a Digivice V? You're going to try and get a cheap VB? I don't think you're going to find one as cheap as you can get one of these on Amazon JP, I'll be honest with you. And any other thoughts or comments you have, let me know in the comments down below. As always, please do read the pinned comment, because if someone has let me know the details on the dim cards, if I got them wrong, that will be pinned. Also, any corrections or updates are always in the pinned comment. I'm going to go take a bunch of painkillers and lie down in the dark because I am still not recovered. But before we do that, let's thank some channel members. What the fuck? Okay, this is crazy. I didn't notice this while I was filming or something. Dogukan has become a sovereign? What the What? Thank you, Dogukan and Night 12 for being. Holy shit, Dogukai. I'm gonna message you after this video. Holy fuck. Whoa. Thank you so much for becoming sovereigns, Knight and Dogukan. I appreciate you dearly. That means the absolute world to me. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being sovereigns. That's shocked me while I'm filming. Holy fucking shit. My phenomenal Digidestined, including new Digidestined Super Embro, Metallic Pool, Andrew Sobel, Anthony Bontomasi, Reese Williams, Sad Uncle Callum, and Crimson Dragon Slayer. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. The Tamers, Theo Navarro, Car Ghosty, The Blessed Rain, Sam Mallow, Erin Harpy, Emily, and Mike McNulty. Thank you so much, Tamers. And to everyone in the Karn Club, it has been amazing to see new Karn Club members, so many of you this month. Thank you for signing up and getting early access to those videos. I'll see you next time when we go digital. I've got a sovereign to DM.